Shalom Aleichem, blessed souls. This is Matook Vibing with David S. On a partly rainy, partly sunny day in Irie Heights, Crown Heights, Borough Park, and Flattenbush. Not Flatbush, but Flattenbush, Brooklyn. The question tonight, blessed souls, before we begin is, as it was in the Matrix, as you see these picture of a blue pill and a red pill, which pill will you choose to swallow? David, which pill have you chosen to swallow relating to meditation?
Well, it's the blue pill. The point is that we all swallow the red pill, and we all been programmed to think in a different ways. This from birth, we're all born with our little limited perspective on the world, and then through our environment, a different kind of environment, where we are, even perspective become even smaller. Even people who are so-called liberals, as soon as you contradict them and come from another perspective, get very angry and right away make, let's say, personal attack.
Right.
But nowadays, it's very rare to find pure intellectual discussion, debating concepts in terms of the concept, the strength and the weakness of the concept itself. We're just seeing recently, for instance, that the George Bush, before leaving office, had a stimulus package, and John McCain stopped his campaign to run to vote for it. A few days later, John McCain says, well, it's not a good thing because it's like socialism. But didn't you stop your campaign and made a big fuss about it to go vote for it because it was the only thing to do? So here the message again, the concepts all mixed up. Is capitalism works? So let's go forward with that, no stimulus package. Or socialism as its good side, and sometimes it could be helpful, but we see now every debate, whatever it is, it's always a black and white debate. There's no more gray area.
Right.
Either you're for, either you're against. Or most of the time, false debates and false arguments are created just to confuse people. Be that as it may, all this problem, it's explained in Chassidus Chabad, is because those are emotional-driven agenda, or they are a specific agenda. They're not for the sake of getting to a bottom line truth, but for the sake to trying to bring out one's own perspective on truth. And the only way to get to the bottom line truth is to get into an intense analysis of a concept that you're given and break it apart. And when you break a concept apart, you're going to find contradiction in the concept. And if you keep going, you will be able to reconcile this contradiction and therefore be able to handle any kind of different angle or perspective that will come from another person and be able to deal with it and be able to even accept it as a new perspective on this same concept. Because once you're in the mind, you're not being challenged by somebody else when the mind is completely free. There is a famous Maimer discourse by the Lubavitcher Rebbe where he says that when the Jews went out of Egypt, after there was the famous miracle of the Red Sea opening for them, Moses stopped singing, and the men were, saying what he was saying after him, they were answering to him.
Right.
So we see here there was the chosen, the head of the generation, who was singing on his own, and the men just could only repeat. There was some kind of class cap. So the Rebbe explains, because this is when it comes to emotions, a true righteous tzaddik, according to Torah, it says, Libam birshutan, their heart are in their domain and they have control over it. Where a regular ordinary person like us is not the same issue, the same thing at all. Completely different. Later on, there's another song they're going to sing in the desert, which is for the wellspring of Miriam. And in this song, surprisingly enough, Moses, is singing along with the man. It's not that he's singing and they're repeating, they're all singing singing all together as one voice. So what's the difference, the Rebbe says? That this is connected to the mind process of searching for the truth. In the mind process, everybody has a piece of information. This is vital to get to the bottom line truth. And therefore at this point we are all equal. And Moses at this point is singing with the men, ordinary Jews, ordinary men, Hebrews, because there's no more this kind of gap, and I wouldn't say class warfare, but this gap because we are trying to get to this bottom line of the truth. Therefore, there's no separation, and therefore everybody matters and everybody is crucial because everybody has a perspective, a different angle, a different vision. This is necessary to have this 360 vision on the truth itself.
Right. Speaking of class warfare, there are explanations given at the plague of darkness that actually a lot of Israelites fell, and only 1/5 of the total population of Israel went out at the time of the exit of Egypt, and those who fell during the plague of darkness were actually the affluent and wealthy among the Israelites who still couldn't buy into the concept that the Almighty was preparing to take them and the rest of their people out of exile. Therefore they fell. And so not to cause the Egyptians to despise the Israelites, even though they were scared of them because of the previous 7 or 8 plagues, their deaths were concealed in the plague of darkness. So, class warfare has been a factor within our people, and a factor of all peoples. But in the last minute, David, I'd like to ask you this. You mentioned something about chaos. How can Hisboenenuse, in a minute or less, rectify the distortion that people promote, that order must be orderly and chaos must be totally chaotic, when in reality there's a little bit of chaos in order and a little bit of order in chaos, according to the Hisboenenuse meditation perspective?
Well, first of all, again, to be clear, the meditation perspective of Hasidus Chabad is an intense analysis in detail. And this goes through repetition. You're learning one page of a book, you want to understand it, you have to at least minimum learn it 100 times when it comes to the concept. We're not talking about a novel here. But it would be better to learn it 160 times because you're going to fight your own limitation of your intellect because you're going to think you have a great understanding. Then when you go back, you realize you are making a mistake. And you're clarifying one more. Then you realize it's much deeper idea than what you think it was. Why? Because you were approaching the concept according to your own perspective. By repetition and breaking your teeth, so to speak, on the details, start breaking away your own perspective and opening a complete new door, new possibilities.
With that, David, we're going to have to stop here. So, blessed souls, Sababa, rejoice. Ahav echad, one love, Gorel echad, one destiny, Badarchanim, Darki Shalom, in a peaceful, pleasant way and a peaceful way. David, you want to add 2 seconds of conclusion?
Well, just the conclusion is that then you find out of this process of detail that there is a little chaos, which has positivity, and there could be a little non-chaos aspect who could have some negativity.